How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Shadowverse Evolve video. Here on Red Zone Rogue, I am one of the official Shadowverse Evolve English Edition ambassadors, and today we are featuring one of the strongest decks in the format right now, Merchant Sword. This deck is not only really strong, really fun to play, to be completely honest, but it's also pretty easy to upgrade into if you got the Shadowverse Worlds Beyond and Shadowverse Evolve sword starter deck, because that deck comes with a lot of the cards we're going to use in this, including the black and white princess package, but we're also using a lot of new cards from booster pack 10, the merchant package. I think the deck is super fun, and yeah, I don't have any sponsors for today's video except for maybe myself. Hey, if you notice this super cute enamel pin right here, well, it is currently available on the Red Zone Rogue merch store, redzonerogue.com for $15. If you'd like to support the channel, get a cute little pin featuring our main character and mascot, Katsumi Kadako. Yo, that'd be great. But, yo, deck tech time. Let's do it. All right, it's time to sort it up. Yeah, let's just get started. If you built my previous sword list in for the previous deck that I did, the black and white sword, this would be very, very easy to upgrade into. You actually don't need that many cards from booster pack 10. Well, you need some, but they're not super expensive or hard to get, with maybe one exception, I suppose. Anyway, we have Albert as our leader of choice, and we have a whole suite of tokens, including a new token that we'll need to talk about when the time comes. We have our Evo deck and our Evo points, and always gotta show off the sleeves that we're using today. We have some Celia sleeves, and guess what? Even fancier Celia sleeves. All right, so let's kind of set some stuff aside, and we will talk about the deck and talk about things as we go. So let's start by talking about the new package. This is the new merchant package, all centered around this new legendary card, Alyaska Warhawker. There are 3 cards in total, and they all synergize with themselves, or with each other. So she is a 5-drop 4/4, but don't let that get you fooled. There's a lot more stats than that. She evolves for 2. And on Fanfare, you search your deck for a Ilmasuna Discord Hawker, summon it, then shuffle. And so what's an Ilmasuna? Well, here's an Ilmasuna. She's a 3-drop 3/3. You can use her effect and select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 3 damage. And then if you have a merchant follower not named Ilmasuna on your field, you deal 5 damage instead. So for 5 play points, you get both of these. So that is 7/7 worth of stats, which is pretty good, and the ability to blast something for 5. Well, let's start talking about her Evolve effect, which is very, very strong. So you're running a single copy of Alyaska Warhawker Evo in our Evo deck. Evo version is a 5/5, and on Evolve, you search your deck for Ernesta Weapons Hawker, summon it, shuffle, then put an Exterminus weapon into your EX area. Okay, so let's talk about the final Weapons Hawker. So Ernesta is a 1-drop 1/1. On Fanfare, you select another swordfall on your field and give it +1 attack and assail, which is quite good. And then at the start of your end phase, if there's another merchant follower not named Ernesta on your field, deal 2 damage to each enemy leader. So if you do the full 7 play points, you get Alyaska, you get Ilmasuna, and you get Ernesta. But not only that, you also get the Exterminus weapon in your EX area. Not on the field, EX, but it only costs 2. It is a 6/6 with Ward, and has Fanfare, select an enemy card in the field and destroy it. Just any card. And then on Last Words, deal 4 damage to each enemy leader. And so if you have, this is turn 9, and you can play this and Evo it and play this, then you have this massive, board. One of these is going to get +1 and assail. This one will have been evolved, so it'll be a 5/5. So you'll have a 5/5, a 3/3, a 1/1, a 6/6 with Ward. Another one of these things has +1 and assail. This can shoot something for 5, and this is all from one card. It's just this card does all this. So pretty good. That's kind of the name of the game with this deck. I really wanted to highlight the merchant package first, so you can kind of see what we're doing, and a lot of the other effects in this deck are similar, and by that I mean it's a card that just makes a bunch of other cards, or searches for cards, or puts them into play. Like, that's what the deck does. It just makes a bunch of dudes, it goes wide, and you don't need a ton of stuff to do so. It's very, very strong. Currently in Shadowverse Evolve, I think the best cards in the game are cards that just, you play up and then just fill your board. And that's what this deck does very well. That's why it's one of the best decks. Next up, we're running a 3 of Celia, likely the most expensive card in this deck next to Ralmia. If you don't know what she does, she's kind of nuts. She's a 1-drop 2/2. Seems pretty simple, but she has 2 different evos. She has an evo for 1, and you can evolve her into Celia Hope's Strategist, or you can evolve her for 4 into Celia Hope's Messenger, or Despair's Messenger. I like Celia, if you couldn't tell. She's a S-tier waifu. But let's go ahead. It's the glasses, man. I like, or the monocle. It's the monocle. Anyway, let's talk about the 2 versions of Celia. So I'm running 2 of them in my Evo deck. These are double-sided. I just have them flipped to each side just to illustrate. But these are double-sided, so you just need to have 2 of them, and then you can always pick which one you want when you do the Evo effect, depending on how much play points you use. So the first one, the Hope Strategist, is a 2/2, and on Evolve, you summon a Shield Guardian token, which is a humble 1/1 with Ward. What makes this super good is, 1, she makes 2 bodies, right? She makes herself and a 1/1 with Ward, but you can actually do this on your first turn if you're going second and have Evo points. So you use your play point to play her, and then you immediately use your Evo point to evolve her. It's really, really strong. And then the 4-cost Evo is a 4/4 with Storm, and on Evo you summon a Steel-clad Knight and a Knight. So you basically summon your 1/1 bro and your 2/2 bro. So she's kind of like a different, you know, more expensive version of a Floral Fencer. Yeah, really good. So that's Celia. Next up, we have Kagimitsu. This is a card that it's kind of like a pet card of mine. I run it in almost all of my sword decks, and I've seen a lot of people not run it and instead run stuff like Savage Swordsman, which we run, or other just 1-drop 2/2s with slightly, you know, they slightly have the ability to get +1/+1. I really, really like Kagimitsu with this deck. I think he's really, really good and super underrated. It's a 1-drop 1/1 with Rush at the base, and then on Fanfare, you give him +X/+X, where X equals the number of face-up Evolve followers in your Evo deck. If X is at least 3, he gets a Sail, and if X is at least 7, give it Strike, refresh this follower, perform this only once per turn. So Kagimitsu, admittedly, not good on your first turn, but pretty darn good on every turn after that, especially if you turn 1, play Celia, and Evo her, like I mentioned. Then your Kagimitsu is a 2/2, but only just gets bigger from there. I like Kagimitsu a lot, and this is a deck where we really want to Evo as much as we possibly can. So Kagimitsu, very good. Even if he's a 3/3, a 1-drop 3/3 with Rush, is very good. If he's anything bigger than that, if he's a 4/4 or a 5/5, he is crazy, because he always only costs 1. Next up, we have the Savage Swordsman, 1-drop 2/2, and then on Fanfare, if there's another token on our field, give him +1/+1. And yeah, we have a lot of ways to make tokens, everything from Celia to Floral Fencer. Yeah, we have a lot of ways to make tokens. So this guy's pretty good. Generally, he's a 1-drop 3/3, but on turn 1, he's a 1-drop 2/2. We're actually only running 2 of him in the deck because he's not as impactful as I would like, but he's pretty solid. I actually cut one of him for another card we'll talk about. Next up, we have possibly the most expensive card in the deck. I haven't looked recently, but Ralmia Sonic Racer. She's super, super good. Great with this deck. She's a 2-drop 3/2 with Rush, which is great. She can Evo for 3, and then her Evo costs 1 less for every other follower on the field. So basically, if you did, once again, Celia turn 1 with the Evo point is so cracked. So if you do that turn 1, you have Celia and another follower, right? Then You, on turn 2, you can play Ralmia for 2, and then Evo her for free because it'll cost 2 less, and then you can use another one of your Evos. And then you just punch your opponent in the face. That's 3 with Celia and the token, and then it's going to be 4 Storm with Ralmia, because let's show off Ralmia's Evo. We're only running 2 of the Evos here. So on Evo, she becomes a 4/3 with Storm, and then you can pay an additional 3 on the Evolve, and she gets +1/+1 for every other follower on the field. So she can be massive late game, but also early game on a turn 2, getting a 4/3 rush by doing all the shenanigans that I said is very good. Ralmia is a house. Next up, we have our Floral Fencer, starter deck card, one of my favorite cards. This card got me all the way to like AA rank in original Shadowverse. Pretty similar. 3-drop, 3/3 Evos for 1. And then on Evo, we're only running 1 in the Evo deck. She's a 4/4, and then you summon a Steelclad Knight and a Knight. So that's a 1/1 and the 2/2. So once again, just another follower that just makes more dudes. And this one is a starter deck card, so yeah, that's great. Always love me some Floral Fencer. Next up, we have a new card, just the gold, but this dude is kind of cracked. He is a 4-drop, 3/3. Evolves for 1. And then he also says, each sword token on our field has Rush, and on Fanfare we summon a Steelclad Knight. And Steelclad Knight, once again, is the 2/2. We'll just put it on the top here just so you can see. He's the 2/2. So just for 4, we get a 3/3 and a 2/2, and the 2/2 has Rush. But when we evolve him, by the way, we're running 3 in the main deck. When we evolve him, we're running 2 in the Evo deck. He becomes a 4/4. Still has that effect where all of our sword tokens get Rush, but then he has this additional effect. On evolve, summon another Steelclad Knight token. Give each Steelclad Knight on our field +1/+1. So that gives us 2 3/3 Steelclad Knights. And then we also get a 4/4, right? So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 points of power and toughness, all with Rush because this will be evolved for, what is it, 5 play points total? 10 for 5 seems pretty darn good. This card is really, really strong, and once again, just one of the things that makes this deck so good. Just makes a bunch of dudes. Next up, we have one of my absolute favorites. A lot of decks don't run this one. You can think of this as another pet card, but I really like this one into the late game with this deck. If we gas out, if they have a lot of removal for our dudes. This is just Octris. So Octris is a 2-drop 2/2. She can Evo for 2 or Evo for 0 if your opponent has 10 cards in their cemetery. And then on Fanfare, each opponent takes the top 2 cards of their deck and puts it into their cemetery. And then you can pay 8 and select a card in your opponent's cemetery and play it for 0 play points. Now, that doesn't come up all that often, but just playing her and evolving her is really, really important. So you can play her on turn 2 as a 2-drop, which is fine if you have nothing else going on. But playing her and then evolving her on turn 3 if you are going second, or on turn 4 is kind of what you want to do, because she is our final Evo card here, and that is because she lets us steal something. So she is a 4/4 on evolve, so actually gets +2/+2, which is nice. And then we select a card in our opponent's cemetery, and then we put it into our EX area. Super, super strong. So we get to take whatever they're doing. Removal, followers, whatever. And then she still has that ability, select a card in opponent's cemetery and play it for 0 if you pay 8. But she also has a second ability, another new ability that says, if your opponent has at least 10 cards in their cemetery, any card I play from my EX costs 2 less. Any card. So it's the one that we stole, or maybe, we can, if it comes up, we can play our Exterminus for 0. But yeah, I really like Octris. 1, she's one of my favorite characters, but 2, I think she's really good and helps us a little bit into the mid and late game. All right, so the last few cards in the deck. Let's just go over the Princess package if you don't know what it is. This is, all this stuff comes in the starter deck. This is really, really strong. They just synergize super well, and it's because of the monochrome duel, and it's just another card that just makes a bunch of dudes. It's a 5-drop. It says, search your deck for a Queen Hemera the White and Queen Magnus the Black. You summon both of them, and then shuffle them, or then shuffle your deck, and then you give them +1/+1. So for 5 play points, you go and get her, and you go and get her, and they both get +1/+1, and then they do their own stuff, which we'll talk about. But this has another effect as well. From our graveyard, or from our cemetery, I should say, we can play 2 from our cemetery and banish this and give all of our knights +1 attack and storm. So this is another way to just close out the game, giving all our little knights +1 and storm. Hey, how are we gonna get some knights? We already had some ways to get knights, but let's show some more ways to get knights. So Queen Hemera is a 3/3 with rush for 3. Fanfare, you summon a knight. If there's a Queen Magnus the Black on our field, summon 2 knights. And she has strike, put a knight into our EX area. So once again, this will summon both of these at the same time. This will be she's a 3/3, she's a 4/3. This would be a 5/4, and this one will be a 3/3. And then we also get 2 knights. So just with this card, we get 2 knights, a 5/4, and a 3/3 for 5 play points. Really good, really, really good. And once again, if we have enough to do this banish effect, we can give those knights an additional +1 attack and storm. So that's 4 storm damage. But wait, it could be more storm damage. With Queen Magnus the Black, she says, while this card's on our field, each Queen Hemera the White has a sail. So that's great. She'll have rush and a sail, so we can smash into something. And then you can use her effect to select any 2 other sword followers on the field and give them +1 attack. So we could give those knight tokens +1 attack. So the total number here is if you play this and do the banish effect and you give the +1 attack to the knights, you have a 5/3 rush assail, a 3/3, and 2, what are they? They'd just be 3/1s, right? Because they just get +1. Yes? +1, yeah. 2, 3, 1 storm knights. So you can smash them in the face for 6, and then you have all this other stuff. Really good. Playing this on curve on turn 2 is also just really good, pumping up other followers, and Queen Hemera is also just really solid, getting more knights into our EX area. Just really, really good package, and it's all silver rarity cards and a gold rarity card. And once again, these all come in the starter deck, including the Floral Fencers and the Savage Swordsman as well. So like I said, you have the start to the building of this deck. All right, the final couple cards are some toolbox cards. So we have Aether of the Warrior Wing. She's a 3-drop 2/3. Fanfare, search your deck for a commander or officer card, reveal it, add it to our hand, then shuffle our deck. And then at the start of our end phase, if there's at least 7 sword followers in our cemetery, all of our followers get +1/+1, which is great, including herself. I want to mention, literally every single card in this deck, except for Octris, is an officer or a commander. Even the queens, they're commanders. It's a commander. Even the spell, Monochrome Duel, is a commander. The only one, like I said, is Octris that's not. She's an Omen Thief. But everything else, that's a commander here, officer, officer, commander. And then even the new cards, we have commander, officer, and officer. So you can go search for literally any card in the deck except for Octris. Very, very good. And then the final card is another officer card. It's a 1-of. It is Unbridled Fury. It is a 1-drop quick. Select an enemy follower on the field. Deal it X damage. X equals the number of followers on your field. Why do we just run one of these? Well, it's because of Aether. We can go search it up with Aether because it is an officer card. So if we need removal with Aether, we can go get it. So I want Aether, basically I want it to be, I can get anything that I need. I can get removal. I can get storm damage. So basically storm damage would be like, depending on how much play points we have, we can go grab Monochrome Duel and do all this shenanigans. We could go grab Ralmia, do some storm shenanigans with Ralmia, or we even have storm damage with Celia on her 4 play point Evo. Or we can just go grab Alyaska and do all this nonsense. So yes, I think this deck is super fun. It is super versatile. It has a lot of cards that just make a bunch of dudes. You have cards that are like 2, 3, 4 for 1s. You have really, really aggressive cards. You can just kind of run over your opponent if they kind of stumble at all, which is one of the big upsides of this deck. And even if they don't stumble, they have a lot to contend with, especially with the new Merchant package. So that is our deck. Of course, we always have a deck list in the description down below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what deck tech you would like to see next from Booster Pack 10. I've been reading the comments. The reason we did this one first is I already had it built, but I will be building the other ones very, very soon. I have all the cards for them. I just need to put them together. I have the lists already, so let me know. We have Wardhaven, we have Fable Forest, we have Academic Rune, which I'm pretty much looking forward to myself. We have like Levitine Dragon. Yeah, we have some good stuff. I might be forgetting. I think that's it. I think that's it. We already did our Abyss one. So, yep. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate the support on the Shadowverse Evolve content. Absolutely love this game and want it to grow as much as possible. Thanks, as always. We'll see you next time.